The crew gathered in the main chamber. No one had slept after the voice. After the things Sarah had seen at her window. After the cameras showed nothing when something was clearly there. "Play it again," Marcus ordered. Thomas replayed the audio. The voice came through, distorted by the water filtered through their communications systems. But the message was clear. "You opened it. You woke us. And now we're coming up." Elena crossed her arms. That could be anything. Whale song distorted by the pressure. Thermal vent activity creating harmonics. "Whales don't speak English," James said quietly. "Neither do structures in the trench." "Exactly. Which means someone's playing a prank. Someone on the surface monitoring our communications." Marcus shook his head. "I checked. All external communications are encrypted. There's no way anyone could hack our system without us knowing." "Then what was it?" Elena demanded. Sarah spoke up. "I saw something. At my window. It was made of ice. Shaped like a person. It looked at me. And then it knocked. The cameras saw nothing." "I know what I saw." Ahmed pulled up the sonar data from the previous day. "The probe, when we sent it into the structure, the signal cut out exactly 50 meters in." "What if it didn't malfunction? What if something cut the signal?" "Why would something cut the signal?" "Why would something cut the signal?" "Because it didn't want us to see what was inside." The crew fell silent. Marcus made a decision. "We're retrieving the probe. We need to see what condition it's in. If it was damaged, how it was damaged." James prepped the retrieval arm. 2 hours later, they located the probe. It was 20 meters from the structure's entrance, lying on the ocean floor. The retrieval arm grabbed it and pulled it into the station's external storage bay. When they opened the bay, Sarah immediately knew something was wrong. The probe was intact, not crushed by pressure, not melted by thermal vents. Intact, but different. It was covered in ice. "That's impossible," James breathed. "At this depth, at this temperature, ice can't form naturally." But it had. Thick layers of crystalline ice coating every surface of the probe, and carved into the ice were symbols, ancient symbols, patterns that Sarah recognized from her studies of prehistoric sites. "These match formations found in megalithic structures," Sarah said, taking photographs. "Similar to markings found at Göbekli Tepe, at Stonehenge, at underwater sites in the Mediterranean. Those sites are 12,000 years old. Yes, which means whoever made this structure is from the same culture. Or older." Marcus leaned closer. "What do the symbols mean?" "I don't know. No one does. The language predates all known writing systems." As they studied the probe, Elena noticed something. "There's a video file. The probe kept recording even after the signal cut out. Play it." The footage was grainy, compressed, but watchable. The probe's cameras showed its journey into the structure. Smooth walls. Carved passages. And then, deeper in, something else. Chambers. Vast chambers filled with shapes. Shapes that looked like pods, or eggs. Hundreds of them. And in the center of the largest chamber suspended in ice was something massive. Something that might have been a creature once. Or might have been a god. It was hard to tell. The probe didn't get close enough. The footage ended with a flash of movement. Something fast. Something that grabbed the probe and threw it back out of the structure. "Rewind that. Slow it down." Thomas isolated the frame, enhanced it, and they all saw it clearly. A hand. Made of ice. With too many fingers. 6 of them. Long. Sharp. Reaching for the camera. Rebecca, who'd been silent until now, spoke. "We need to leave. Now, pack up the station and surface." "We can't leave," Marcus said. "We're in the middle of a research cycle. The submersible isn't scheduled to return for 2 weeks. Then call for emergency extraction." "On what grounds?" "That we saw something strange, that Sarah saw ice that might have been a hallucination." "That voice wasn't a hallucination. We don't know what it was. Until we have concrete evidence of danger, we stay." But as Marcus spoke, the lights flickered again, and Thomas's console lit up with alarms. "We've got a pressure anomaly. Section C, near the lab." "What kind of anomaly?" "External pressure is increasing. It's reading 15% higher than normal. That's impossible. Pressure at this depth is constant. I'm telling you what the sensors say, and it's getting worse. 20% now. 25. James was in Section C, in the lab, running tests on samples from the structure site. He heard the alarm and looked up at the pressure gauge on the wall. The numbers were climbing. Fast. "Marcus, I'm seeing the pressure increase in here." "What's happening?" Get out of there. Now. James moved toward the door. But the pressure was building too fast. He could feel it. Not physically. Not yet. But the station's hull was groaning, metal screaming under stress it wasn't designed to handle. If external pressure increases, the hull could. The sound was sudden, violent, like a gunshot. But it wasn't the hull that failed. The hull held. It was designed to withstand the pressure of 7 miles of water. James wasn't. The pressure hit him all at once. 6 billion gallons of water pressing down. Not on the station. On him. Directly on him. Like invisible hands squeezing from every direction. His body didn't have time to scream. Didn't have time to process what was happening. 1 second he was standing. The next he was standing. The next he was compressed. Crushed. His body folding in on itself, like a collapsing star. When Marcus reached Section C, he found what was left. James's body, if you could still call it that, was the size of a football, compressed so violently that bones had shattered, organs had ruptured, blood had been forced out through every opening. The hull showed no damage. The pressure gauge was back to normal. Whatever had caused the anomaly was gone. But James Park was dead. Rebecca screamed. Elena turned away, vomiting. Ahmed just stared, his mind refusing to process what his eyes were seeing. Sarah felt ice in her veins. This wasn't natural. This wasn't a malfunction. Something had killed James. Something that could control water pressure itself. And through the hall, from outside the station, came that voice again. Not through the speakers this time. Through the metal. Through the water. Through the very structure of the station itself. 1 down. 5 to go. You opened the door. Now pay the price. Marcus grabbed the emergency radio. This is Deep Station Alpha to Surface Command. We have a fatality. Requesting immediate extraction. Repeat. Requesting immediate extraction. Static. Surface Command, do you copy? More static, and then, impossibly, that voice again. Using their own communication system. No one is coming. No one can help you. You're 7 miles down, and we're all around you. Thomas checked the communications array. We're being jammed. Something's blocking our signal. That's not possible. Our systems are hardened against interference. I'm telling you, we can't reach the surface. Marcus looked at his crew, 4 people left, trapped 7 miles below the ocean, with something outside that could kill them through the hull itself. Something ancient. Something angry. We seal off Section C. We don't go near James's body. We figure out what we're dealing with and we find a way to fight it. Fight it? Elena's voice wah. Shrill with panic, it killed James without even touching him. How do we fight something that can control pressure itself? I don't know, but we're going to find out. Sarah looked at the symbols she'd photographed from the probe. Ancient warnings, a language no one could read. But she had to try, had to understand what they were dealing with. Because somewhere in that structure, in those chambers full of pods, something was waking up. Something that had been sealed away for 10,000 years. And they'd opened the door. The lights flickered again, and on every screen in the station, an image appeared, not from their cameras, not from their systems, from outside. From the thing watching them, the image showed the structure, the entrance, and dozens of shapes emerging from it. Ice creatures, like the one Sarah had seen at her window. But more of them, many more. They were climbing toward the station, slow, patient, moving through water that should have crushed them, and they were bringing the cold with them. Sarah watched the temperature gauge on the wall. It was dropping. 1 degree. 2 degrees. 5. The station's heating systems kicked in, trying to compensate, but the cold kept coming. It's coming for us, Sarah whispered. All of it. Everything in that structure, it's coming up. And in the deep 7 miles below the surface, where no light had ever reached and no help could ever come, the crew of Deep Station Alpha realized they were about to die.